Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Can't Hardly Wait. I'm Joe,
I'm Alexis.
and we are back for, I think this is episode 5 at this point.
Something like that.
My goodness,
Yeah.
we're doing it.
Uh,
Um, on that note, I just wanted to mention, I think I mentioned in the first episode that we were going to be running about a month behind real time with the release of these. I think I might try to release them slightly faster just because it is starting to feel a little weird. Today is February 12th.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, as we're recording this, we are like a month into our journey since we started documenting it, and it feels a little weird that, nobody, if we stuck to our original schedule, no one would be seeing this until we were like, way further ahead.
Yeah.
So, I
And
mean,
things are kind of changing a lot.
and yeah, there have been a lot of changes. So probably won't get too crazy, but might put them slightly less than a week apart just to catch up a little bit. Anyway, it's a little bit of housekeeping up front.
Yes.
As we've been doing, just kind of wanted to do a weekly check-in. I actually have my journal, Joe's Journey Journal, that Alexis bequeathed me and made a label for. Um, And up to this point, I really had just been using this to like jot, I have menus that Alexis printed out. I make my weekly menu in here, but I hadn't been doing a lot of like actual like journaling, like writing my thoughts down. And the other day, I found myself kind of struggling with something, and I thought maybe writing it down would help. So I'm not gonna.
Did it help?
It did kind of help.
All right.
I know.
Well, how about that?
I mean, I'm not going to read what I wrote verbatim, but I kind of want to talk about the thing I was struggling with. And, I mentioned a few times I'm doing the Mediterranean diet, which, I do eat mostly vegetarian, try to focus on whole foods, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, all the good stuff. And I love it. But part of that diet is that you can eat things that are kind of outside of whole foods and whatnot. You just should eat them less frequently. And another concept, which I mean, this isn't Mediterranean diet specific, but like a sort of healthy eating concept that I've encountered before, a few times that I kind of like the idea of is I've seen people approach it either as 80-20 or 90-10. And the idea is, if you're eating nutritious, nutritious, healthy, healthful foods, either 80% or 90% of the time, then it's okay, for the remaining 10 or 20% to kind of eat fun foods. You can indulge a little bit here and there, and as long as the majority of the time you're eating, healthy foods, you're going to be okay. You're not going to be destroying your life. And so that's something that I'm kind of trying to practice is allowing myself to, have these sort of treats, like I like to call them fun foods, once in a while most of the time I'm sticking to the Mediterranean plan and eating fruits, vegetables, whole grains, things like that. And that's kind of my ideal, ideally moving forward, that's what I do for the rest of my life. And I think that that's really kind of the best way to approach, a food plan. And this week I found myself struggling a little bit with that. I think I've mentioned before that, my birthday actually, as of this recording, my birthday is less than a week away. And I had been trying to not drink it all and like really try to stick to a stricter meal plan until my birthday. And this past week, that kind of got not thrown out the window, but my plan had to change because my brother-in-law, Alexis's brother Andy, came to visit and stayed with us. And there were a couple nights where we went out to dinner, and actually we went out 2 nights. Like we went with him 2 nights. The first night I had some blackened salmon with Brussels sprouts and rice pilaf, which I barely even touched. So I mean that was perfect, super healthy Mediterranean meal. I did have a glass of whiskey because there was, everyone else, well, a couple other people were drinking, so I did that. But and then the night after that, we went to one of my favorite restaurants in Grand Rapids, West Side Social. Shout out! And I decided when we went there to just have whatever I wanted. Like I wasn't gonna try to stick to the meal plan. So I had a Monte Cristo, which they have my favorite Monte Cristo I've ever had.
It's the best one I've ever had, also.
And I did have a couple cocktails there, and it was fine. I mean, the next day went back to my normal plan. Had my oatmeal for breakfast and avocado toast for lunch, healthy dinner. But then I think it was Friday. I was sitting there just kind of getting in my own head about this stuff, like kind of fighting with the urge to just like continue down the slippery slope. Um, I got an email recently from a local pizza place giving me a free two topping small pizza for my birthday, which is, awesome. But I'm like, do I want to have that pizza this weekend? And it's kind of this struggle of, and I mean, that's always been a problem I think both of us have had, where we'll do well with the diet for a couple weeks and then we try to have like a treat and then
Yeah.
it becomes that slippery slope.
Yeah.
And we have had like a vicious cycle where we kind of enable each other. So I found myself kind of getting in my head and struggling with that. And so that's kind of what I journaled about and trying to figure that out.
I also think, hopefully, it's helpful that I can't enable you
It
right
is,
now.
yeah, for sure. And I mean, that's something that we've, definitely talked about before
Yeah.
too.
I can't just be like, yeah, let's get pizza
Yeah.
right now.
But I mean, the thing I ultimately arrived at, which I think is going to be one of the key ideas that I kind of cling to moving forward, is the fact that that pizza is still going to be there. Like that coupon for that free pizza is good until March something. So, like, I don't need to eat that right now. I can have that in a week or two, and it'll still be there then. And I mean, I think I am trying to, just cling to the more of a 90-10 because I feel like
Mm-hmm.
80-20 might be a little too much, at least for me right now. But, like looking back at this week food wise, it was great. I had that treat on, I think that was Wednesday.
Yeah.
And like I did well the rest of the week, sticking to my plan. And I mean, I think that is going to be the key factor though, is just like, you know what, like if I can have that fun food and like I just don't need it right now. Um, and I mean, part of it too is, I mean, we haven't really talked about numbers up to this point, but I'm just going to put it out there. I started this year in January. My kind of starting weight for this journey was, I think, 321 pounds. And most of my adult life, like at least since I was in college, I've been kind of at or over 300 pounds. And so my goal at the start of the year was I really wanted to try to be at or at least really close to 300 pounds by my birthday. And yesterday, even after eating some fun food this week and having a couple drinks, I weighed in at 302 pounds and some change. So I'm like so close. I'm almost there. And I mean, that's part of the reason that, I kind of said no to the fun food this weekend is like, I just really want to see where I am by the end of this week. And I mean, my birthday weekend, I am going to kind of throw it all out the window. I'm not going to worry too much about, 80-20 or whatever. My parents are coming to visit, so I'm going to have some drinks, going to have some fun food. But then, as soon as the weekend is over, once Monday rolls around, just right back to it. And yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be my first like major test, but I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, like, I will encourage you, though.
Yeah, and I love that.
Yeah.
And I mean, Alexis has been really kind of helpful and supportive as far as just, making me kind of stop and really think about, what I want to do. Um, and I mean, like you said, it is also super helpful that you can't
Yeah.
eat these things
Hmm.
right now. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of been my week. I just wanted to talk about that because I know how hard it is. Like, I know I've seen a lot of people in groups I'm in and stuff say that they basically have to go cold turkey for like, more fun foods, and it does become a slippery slope. And I 1,000% feel that, but I just feel like for myself, like I really need to try to work towards more moderation, because I feel like if I try to cut these things out entirely, like say I'm never going to have them, that's when it becomes really bad for
Hmm.
me. Like at some point, I'm going to just completely fall off and like start eating all the things. And the other realization I had with regards to this whole thing is, because I want this to be a long term plan and journey, like it's going to be for the rest of my life, you know, going back to the 80/20 or 90/10 plan, if I have like a treat or, fun food like once a week, say, I'll probably lose weight more slowly than if I just completely didn't do that. But in the long run, that doesn't matter because I want this to last for the long run. So if I lose weight more slowly and am able to keep it off and maintain this lifestyle, that's a lot more important than, losing it more quickly and burning out and not being able to sustain it. And I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things that like diet culture doesn't really want to discuss, is being able to maintain a healthier lifestyle and like maintain the changes you're making in the long run, because it
Hmm.
really is something that you need to keep up for the rest of your life. So I kind of like went through the struggle and had all these thoughts, but I feel like coming out of it, I feel positive. I feel like I've had some realizations that will be helpful, moving forward in the long run.
Yeah.
So how was your week?
My week was good. We did do dinner out a couple times. We had a nice time with my family, and I was able to find something on the menu. I'm still on pureed food, so I was able to do that, and I enjoyed it, and um, didn't feel like deprived. I feel like going from the liquid stage to the puree stage is like I just feel so much better
It
about
seems like it
life.
just gave you life.
It really did. Like I can it's not even I just feel like I was so sad for a minute. I was really sad. And I'm not like regretting what I had done or anything, but just like I just knew it was going to be
Oh
hard
yeah, it's got to be
emotionally.
really hard.
But now like I feel like I can have dinner with people, whereas before I was just like I'm just going to drink my shake.
Yeah,
I can be a part of things, which is nice. Um I haven't felt hungry at all. Like I have had no hunger, which is weird and has made me have to like remind myself some days, especially since I went back to work, that like you need to eat food right now. um,
yeah,
there have been other times when I have thought, "Am I hungry?" And then I just realize I'm having like head hunger. Like my brain just wants to put food in my mouth. Like
yeah.
I just want to
Like you're like
soothe
bored
myself,
or
or yeah,
emotional. Yeah,
exactly. So I've had to just stop. I've gotten a little bit better at like taking a time out and saying like, am I hungry right now, or like what's going on? Like what am I feeling? Like trying to, you know, pinpoint the
yeah,
feeling that I'm having
yeah,
and why, what it is.
yeah.
And
It's
sometimes,
definitely that's something I really need to work on too.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think everybody,
yeah.
well, not everybody. I don't know. I don't know. This is normal for me. Like I
I think
have always
a
been.
lot of people who have issues with weight and
Yeah.
eating like
Yes.
definitely need to try to work on that.
Yeah. For my whole life, I
Yeah,
have like been like, wow, I'm bored. I guess I could eat.
yeah,
Which is I don't even know how that starts, but here we are. Like, here we are.
Yeah. I mean, that's something I'm definitely still struggling with too, especially on weekends.
Yeah.
Because we tend to like stay up later on weekends and we tend to spend more time like sitting on the couch watching TV or
Yeah,
movies.
a movie or something.
And it's like if you're just sitting there for a while, like I at least like I eventually am like, oh, I should eat something. But
Yeah.
it's like I'm not really hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's been that, and then talking about numbers and stuff, I don't really care to talk about my starting weight at this point. Maybe eventually I will. But I have lost 20 pounds since my surgery, which is cool. And I do already feel like better. Like I feel like I can walk more easily. I can, I'm still kind of on kind of restrictions on how much I can lift and that kind of thing. But I can move around the house and clean a little bit easier. And I just feel like I have a little bit more energy. So,
I have seen that too.
Yeah.
Like I can tell you seem a little
yeah.
more like willing or like able to do things.
Yeah.
And
Like we just went to the grocery store. We're filming this on Super Bowl Sunday too.
Yeah. Oh boy.
So I usually, especially when there's a lot of people at the store, I have anxiety about it, and I don't feel good when I'm like trying to move around and do a lot of walking. But I wanted to kind of like soldier through and just like get it
Yeah,
done.
I just wanted to get it done and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, and it wasn't as bad as I had thought it would be. So
I mean, it was terrible.
it was terrible. Like don't get me wrong, it sucked.
It was a mistake to try to go to the store on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah,
but
not right before, but before the game. So
yeah,
yes,
you did so good though.
Thank you.
We did it.
We did it. We did Meyer. Yeah.
Anyway,
I think that's pretty much my whole. That's how I'm doing. That's my update. Purees lasts another week or so. No,
isn't
less
the
than a week.
15th?
Yeah, and then I can move on to soft foods.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that'll be a whole lot different, but we'll see, and we'll update at that point. But I think that's it for me today. Anything else you want to say?
That's all I got.
No. Okay. Well then, bye.
Bye, everybody.